Welcome to another episode of the Elevated Barbers Podcast. My name is Bradford Kelly, also known as the business-minded barber, owner of Another Level of Barbering and the proud co-host of the one, the only Elevated Barbers Podcast. And I'm here with...
This is Delmar, aka The Prince, owner of Royal Luxe Grooming and the co-host of the one and only Elevated Barbers Podcast. Let's start the show.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So as we told you last week, we are going to bring back our very special guest. And no, it's not the one that you see on the screen to my right or to your left. It's the one that's not on stage right now. His name is Lasana, coming straight to you from Wakanda. Bring him on.
What's going on, Prince T'Challa?
What's going on with y'all fellas, man? What it do?
Man,
We back.
we are back.
We
Me
back,
and the
man.
pressed on hair of Omar Epps is looking good. we do.
Hey, thank you, Charlie Villanueva. Andres, if you could find a picture of Charlie Villanueva, pull him up on the screen.
If you can find a low cut Wesley Snipes, pull that one up too.
Hey man, they've been cracking these jokes since last week. We ain't even leave. We've been here since last week. They've been cracking jokes.
Oh man, no, he got a real good spray paint line, and I don't want to knock that. We gonna keep that going, man.
He just mad because he can't spray paint nothing up there.
It won't look right. I look just like you.
Nah.
You like
Put some
You
Indian.
gonna look like
dust
Morris
up there,
Chestnut
man.
on You gonna look like Morris Chestnut on that movie where he spray painted his head. He ain't have nothing up top.
Oh, I don't remember that. Good hair just shine like a wave cap.
That's right.
Man,
He got
Good
satin hair.
y'all crazy.
You hate
boy.
No, I'm a.
Come on, man. Start the show, man. Start the show.
I can't live my life the way you live your life. I can't do it. I appreciate what you got going on over there.
That's right. I got hair enough for both of us.
Yeah, you do. Lasana, we said we had to bring you back. You were the very first guest that we've had that had back-to-back shows. One,
Man.
how are you even feeling about that?
Hey man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling like I'm a part of history.
You are, man.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm part of history for real.
Absolutely. We're growing and developing as a Elevated Barbers Podcast, man, but it's nothing without the guests that we have and the content that you all bring. We know that, and it's an honor for us to have you. I mean, Delmar would speak the same about you. The things that we spoke about last night, just through the struggles of becoming a business owner, thinking like a business owner, trying to start projects and it didn't work, trying to, navigate through struggle, and then also being able to reap the rewards of your success and being able to start your own shop and have the different things that you have at this point. And then on top of that, we was blessed with your is it your first child, second child? He came and he blessed us with his appearance, man.
Oh yeah. With my second one with Lil Man.
Yeah.
Little man
He
came
came
in.
He
and
blessed
rocked with-
himself. He blessed himself with his appearance.
He said, I'm
Boy, he
here.
busted the door wide open too, boy, and sat
Right.
down.
Yeah.
He
But
said, "What's next?"
yeah, man. But it was good to have him as well as you on for the last episode, man. So we want to just continue the conversation that we were having last week. And there's a variety of different ways that we could start the show. But I want to start the show, if you're okay with it, Lasana, just with talking about probably one of the goals that you have for this year. We're in 2024. We are moving forward in this year. And I mean, January is almost gone. we already 1 month in fully almost, and your business is only going to grow as far as your mind, and we know that, right? Just from experience being in different classes. We talked about the class that we took with Israel Wright. We've done some things. So for you and Delmar, man, like what are some of the things that you guys are trying to achieve this year? What are you looking forward to in 2024? We all trying to get some more.
Yeah, 100. Hey, that's a good question, man. But what you just said in the end, what we're trying to do in 2024, we're trying to get some more.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize you said that, but my pastor, he just said the same thing on Sunday. He kind of put that in the sermon. In 2024, we want some more, so
it rhymes.
Man, so I just caught that when you said that though, man. But yeah, that's a good question, man. What are my goals in 2024? Man. So I kind of got got through writing down my goals. Well, some of my goals just yesterday for 2024. But really, man, my mindset now is really just on execution.
Yeah.
Executing everything, because I can easily slip into the mode of being create things, be so into the things and submerge into the things that I create that it only becomes a creation and it only exists in my mind or maybe just a couple steps ahead. So this year, man, I'm really in like an execution mode.
Yeah.
But I realized that that's going to take me eliminating or learning how to deal with fear, learning how to address my fears, learning how to address my self limitations.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really dealt with in 2023 was self-limitation, self-doubt, not feeling like I was smart enough or knew enough or couldn't speak well enough. So all those, plus a whole lot of other things. I'm sure we're going to get into that, when it comes to my 2023. But I dealt with a lot of things last year that paralyzed me.
Yeah.
In business. So in 2023, I'm working on my goals, but I'm really focusing on execution. A couple of days ago, so I got this thing in my mind right now. It's called the 1 month year. I know that sounds crazy. That sounds far-fetched, but it's a 1 month year. And what I'm doing is I'm writing down everything that I plan on executing within the month of January. Now, it's not a whole 365 days list of things that I hope to complete in January, but it's a list of things that I'm putting on paper that I hope to start on and just get the ball rolling with.
Yeah.
Kind of like a domino effect, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now I got a few things listed, like number one. So last year at the last quarter of last year, at the end of last year, I'm creating the training. It's called Barber Client Relation. And it's already written out and everything, but this month I'm actually going to put it in action. So I'm doing that, the Barber Client Relation. I'm also taking that same training to different barber shops, to different barber schools in the area, just so I can train and teach barbers on how to conduct themselves in the barbershop and how to form long-lasting, effective relationships with their clients.
Yeah.
And also within the barbershop, within my shop, we're doing training this month also. But all these things are going to stretch out throughout the year. These are things that I'm going to put in motion and repeat throughout the year, just to build, just to accelerate, and just to progress.
Man, that is beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So I really got to put these things in action. So that's my plan.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I just came across like a short or a reel from David Shands from the
from Social Proof
podcast.
Yeah.
And he has like another
hot seat.
Huh?
The hot seat.
Yeah, the hot seat, bro.
Yeah.
Like that seat be hot for real.
Yeah.
It'd be hot. But I think he was talking to a young guy. Like it was just a snippet. And they were talking about, what do you pride yourself on? Mm-hmm. And David said that he used to always pride himself on his ideas.
Yeah.
And his great ideas. You want to talk to me? We're going to brainstorm. We're going to do this, that, and the third. And he prided himself on his idea and on his creativity. But he said he had a plateau with that. But now he prides himself in execution.
Yeah.
He said, look at what I built. Then he started going into the things he built. And he said, that's what I pride myself on.
Yeah.
Man. So my big thing now is just moving the needle and just having progress in my business, man. Like I have to do it.
Yeah.
I have to do it. I need to do it. So that's what's going on right now.
That's beautiful, bro. I got so much to say on that to add value to what you're saying, man. That was beautiful. But go ahead, D. I know I asked you the question too. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Lasana, man. I guess I have a kind of a 1 month year thing going on too, where every month personally and business wise, I'm tackling something, and it's really about execution. I just dropped a video a couple of weeks ago saying that, I'm just starting to get back into my stride. Last year was kind of not really up and down, but, still was mentally dealing with the loss of my mom from, almost 2 years ago now. And I felt like I wasn't really truly myself all the way. I still was, trying to wash my face, take care of business things, but also dealing with some personal stuff too.
Yeah.
And I started catching my stride towards the end of last year. And I feel like I'm, a lot more focused, clearer thinking now. And each month, like Lasana said, is something that I want to tackle, something I want to execute, and then move on to the next month. And then even if in the current month, I don't get everything taken care of that I want to, just roll it over to the next month and, tell myself it's okay. Cause I'm a real hard critic on myself. Like if I don't get it done, it's like the end of the world for me. But also, I'm also learning to give myself grace and be patient with myself, because that's something I've never been with myself. If I don't get it executed, I just feel like I failed, and that's not necessarily true. And you can call yourself to crash mentally because, you're just not giving yourself that grace and that patience. We do that for other people. At least I do. I know, Brad and Lasana might, we're patient with other people, especially in this industry. You have to be patient with, your clients, your customers. But the biggest person that you should be patient with is yourself. You have to allow yourself room to grow and change and also make error. So this is a year of focus for me. I'm trying to seek out some passive income opportunities whether it's an affiliate program or, just some things I have lined up. But this is definitely a year of focus and growth.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm with y'all, man. I'll share some of my goals too.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Come on with it. No pressure.
I think what both of you guys were saying is so key for, I think, so many people as well. Just you think about your life and you think about where you've kind of come to, and where you're trying to go. You have to be able to have some type of goals that's going to lead you somewhere. And one of the things that is leading me is the future that I want to see for myself. I was listening to something recently where they were talking about the 5 different types of things that really have an impact on a person's mind and an impact on a person's progression through life. And one of them had to do with environment. Another one had to do with trauma in their life. Another one had to do with their perception of things, just how they view things. But one of them had to do with their future, and their future being something that pulls them, that has a real effect on them. And so many different times, a lot of people, they're impacted so much by their past that they live there, and they let their past lead them instead of really letting their future that they want lead them. And so what I'm hearing from both of you is that you guys have things in your future that you're going after. And that's the same with anybody that is going to be successful. You have to be going after something. If you're just working in the barbershop, you're just working and you're just cutting hair and there's no goal in mind, to me, that's the difference between working hard work versus working hard. So hard work is you just doing the labor and you're trying to get the money, but there's no intent behind it. It's just, I need to cut the hair and I need to do the work. And so you're just going to focus on doing hard work. But when you learn how to work hard, or when you start to learn what working hard really means, it means that you're going somewhere. It has a focus. It has a direction. It has a destination that you're trying to reach. Because when you start to really learn how to work hard, you'll really find out how to work smart. And when you start to learn how to work smart, you'll learn how to work less. And when you start to learn how to work less, you'll eventually figure out how to work none and still get paid, because that's a directional focus versus just looking at how to fade better, which the next clippers I need to get for whatever I'm trying to do. You're not focused only on the service of your business. You're focused on the growth of it. So you know how to work hard versus just learning how to do hard work. It's a different mindset. Right. So these are some of the things that I'm more so learning how to express, because I've learned how to live it, but I'm trying to learn how to express it. And so that's how come I've been getting into teaching, Lasana, even more. You've been through some classes that I've taught in the past where I've spoken about, it could have been with Ivan Zoot, where I was doing promotions and client retention, or I was doing like the 10 principles for elevation. I did that. Then I did the House of Barbering, and I was truly trying to show how to become stable in the barbering industry. But now my focus is on helping barbers truly eliminate their limits. So when you were speaking about that kind of stuff, I was just like, bro, like, are you giving me an alley-oop right now? Because that's my next class, and it's going to be a free webinar, but it's on how to become a ceilingless barber. And you have to be able to focus on the limits that you have so that you can remove them, so that you can grow as much as you want. But if you're completely focus on doing the hard work, you'll never really understand the ceilings that you have. You never really understand the limits that are internal as well as external. And that's what that class is going to be about on January 29th is just really how to remove these limits so that you can really become a ceilingless barber. Like I want that phrase to catch on. Like, how do I take the ceiling off my income? How do I remove the ceiling from my potential? Because as barbers, we're locked in mentally already with a ceiling. We think that this is one way that we're going to be able to make money. We're going to cut hair until we win the game. And that's really you getting played by the game. You don't realize the game that you're actually in. You have to learn how to become a owner of your own future. But if you're focused on just how to dribble the ball, then you'll never learn how to run the game itself. So I know that was a lot, but it's a passion of mine. Yeah, it's a passion of mine right now to just really help barbers in particular take the ceiling off, like learn how to take the ceiling off, because once you do that, man, the sky is the limit. And that's what we're trying to do, right? That's what we in here for. Like we in here to be trying to make money. We care about our families. Like, you know, we're a long time away from just cutting hair just because we love to cut hair. Like that's still good. But if you want to be able to provide for your child, if you want to be able to provide for your significant other, if you're trying to be able to one day have time back, because you understand that in this industry you got to give up time to get good, to get to get your clientele up. You have to give that time up, but at a certain point you're gonna want that time back, but you ain't gonna want to lose the money that it took that you make it from the time that you're putting in. But if you're not careful, you'll be sacrificing the life you want to live with the people that you love and the things that you want to do, because the life that you have to live to create that life is behind the chair, and you won't really see how to disconnect your time from your money making. And if you can't disconnect that, then you're going to be stuck, and you're going to get burnt out. You're going to just feel so much pressure because you want to live this life, but you can't because you chained to your chair. And
I've been through all of that mentally.
Yeah. Talk about it. For real.
Fellas, I want to ask y'all a question while
I'm sorry I ranted on that, man. I went off.
Sorry. No, you're good. You just triggered a thought. Man, you triggered a thought of mine. What's the most powerful thing that we own as human beings?
Man, you're not going to give no clarity to that question? What do you mean?
What's the most powerful thing that we own as human beings?
Say our body.
I would say our minds.
Our mind. Yeah. And to what you said, Brad, we can't unlock our potential unless we unlock our mind.
Yeah.
It all starts with the mind.
Yeah.
And anything that we do starts with the mind. And
you hear that so many different ways, man, from so many different people. It's about the mind. Like the mind it's the single best and worst thing that we have possession of.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It could be your best friend. It could be your worst enemy.
It really can.
And now I'm gonna give a sneak peek of some of the biggest internal limitations that we all have. And these are the things that stop us because it's how we perceive them. Has nothing to do with the reality of them. But this is some of the stuff that I'm gonna go into in the class. But you mentioned one of them, man, is fear, right? The way that you perceive fear is going to limit what you can do in this industry and in your life. The way that you perceive fear, the way that you perceive insecurities, like these are things that are inside of you that you feel like you need validation of. But if you don't know how to perceive those the right way, because we all have them. Like if you faking and acting like you ain't got no insecurities, and you lying to yourself and everybody else around you. But the people that can understand their insecurities are the ones that can change their life. The people that are not striving for excellence and they only go for mediocrity, all right? They only are doing enough to get by. This is a huge limit because you're just trying to exist. You're not trying to grow. You're not trying to achieve. And anytime you get in that, you're going to be limited. Self-ignorance, the things that you don't know about yourself, that's huge, man. It's so big because you think that you don't know what your potential is. You haven't even taken the time to invest in learning who you are, what your strengths are. That's a big limit. Even your perception of time. So many people act like they're busy. Even myself, like I have to catch myself and be like, man, like I don't have enough time. And it's like, no, you waste a lot of time, and you don't calculate it as wasted time because you're busy, but you're not busy. You're unproductive, and it's different. And you have to be able to notice this stuff But and the last thing is even money. The way people perceive money is a huge limit. So many people won't invest in themselves because they see it as a cost, and they don't realize that you're supposed to get a return on your investment. You're over here holding it in your pocket and it's not doing nothing for you. So you got to be able to understand some of these internal limits that you have and understand how to overcome them, because once you do, you'll be able to overcome even the external limits that you may have that I'll share in the class. But I just wanted to give that, because when you started talking about all of the limits that you noticed yourself and running into, Lasana, in 2023, a lot of them was most likely in your mind. A lot of them was what you believed about yourself, what you believed other people were going to think. And I'm suffering from the same thing too. I'm like, man, it's time to level up. Like, I can't just be having so much stuff in my mind and never executing. And this is for barbers all across the nation, all across the world. You got so much in your mind that you want to do, but are you letting it stay in your mind? You're not putting it out in a way that people can pay you for it. Really, you got to get yourself, you got to get the value that you have within. You got to get it out so that people can compensate you for the value that you have. And it's not just you cutting hair. It's not just you fading and putting enhancements and doing a facial. Like, that's the hard work. You got to learn how to work hard and get you going somewhere specific. All right, I'm done. That's it. That's it.
Mic drop.
That's good, man.
Mic drop.
Taking notes, man. For real.
I see. This might be the first guest that we've ever had taking notes.
Oh, I didn't even see that. You was taking notes.
Yeah, I got my pen.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, bro. Nah, that's some real gems right there. And it helps anybody to do some self-reflection.
Yeah.
If you're a barber, if you're human, you can't help but to do some self-reflection when you hear stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so
got to.
Yeah.
And it's still early in the year, so make all the changes that you need to make now. Like, don't carry over 2023 into 2024. It's a completely different year.
Yeah.
Man, 100%.
And don't carry January into February.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I really hope that those that watch this episode, I hope that you tap into the webinar. It's free. It's a free webinar, how to become a ceilingless barber. So
can you plug it? Like, are you going to be able to plug it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to get this information up.
Yeah. I'm going to have Andres put it in the video here.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's going to be a super good webinar. So I'm super excited about that one, man. I'm super
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Can we get a date?
January 29th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's like 8 p.m. y'all time, right?
Yeah, our time.
Yeah. So it's only going to be 1 hour. It's going to be a hot hour. I'm gonna do it too.
Yeah,
normally I know I'm a little long-winded, but I'm learning how to cut things short and be clear and be concise so that it's easily received and easily implementable. When I try to do too much explanation and giving parables and analogies and stuff like that, sometimes it's hard to implement the information. But my whole focus is action-based learning this year. So anything that I produce is going to be action-based learning, things that you can take from what I'm given and you can go do something about it immediately. And that's the focus that I have for the rest of this year.
Man,
it's definitely a year of investing, man.
Yeah.
Definitely a year of investing, because people pay for knowledge, and that's one of the most valuable things in the world is knowledge. People go to seminars, free or paid, and they get knowledge to help them grow in their life, either personally or with their business. So definitely looking forward to both of y'all, you too, Lasana.
Yeah, because I'm hearing. So Lasana, can you explain some of your journey into what you're trying to give to the barbering space? How has your journey brought you to this part where you are now available to teach others and give them value?
Yeah. So basically, how did my journey get to this point of me, wanting to teach and share value? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Oh man, honestly, I think it's something that's already been in me before barbering. So yeah, I know I come from a Liberian background, and my family, I'm the son of 2 immigrants from West Africa, Liberia. So if y'all know anything about African culture, education is everything, especially from the fathers. Education, man. Usually African parents, they want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, this, that, and the third, somebody successful. So growing up, I didn't want to be none of that, but I really idolized my father. My father, long live my father. He's actually buried in Liberia right now on the school campus, on the college campus. You know, that's where his memorial is. So he was deep into education. I can go through a deep dive into, you know, our family bloodline, because my dad comes from a small village in Liberia. And as a young child, he was taken from that village, and he was placed under somebody else's care, where he was able to get schooling, get education. My father didn't know how to read or write, you know, at a young age, but he was able to learn these things from a young age. And he was able to go back to his village and take family members one by one and take them to go get an education.
Wow.
Yeah. So like the original, so I never met my father's mother, my grandmother.
Okay.
She had mental illnesses that she dealt with. So when my dad was young, he was adopted and placed under somebody else's care. But in African culture, we adopt within the family.
Gotcha.
You know, we adopt within the family. So he was taken to a slightly bigger city, and you know, he was educated. And as he grew up, he was able to go back to his village and take people one by one to get education. And when he got older, he was able to come to the States like in the 80s and pursue his education at Bradford A&M University. But long story short, you know, my father passed when I was 7 years old. You know, he was killed in a car accident in Liberia. And but growing up, I always idolized my father. You know, my father, he always had a good rapport and, you know, in the community. So, but I knew I wasn't a college kid. I knew I wasn't about to be no doctor or no lawyer or anything like that. But as I got older, I fell in love with barbering, fell in love with cutting hair. I was around here all my life. And as I got into the industry, I always knew there was more in the barber industry. I looked around, I seen people cutting every day, but I also seen people complaining about revenue, complaining about the shop not having no walk-ins.
Yeah.
The barbershop life or career that I imagined, in reality, other barbers, they weren't living up to that reality I had in my mind. So I seen a lot of gaps in the industry early on. And I had this thing to where I developed, it's called FIG, fill in the gap. So gaps that I'll see within the barbershop, I'll fill it. If I seen barbers being short on the phone and not having certain etiquette on the phone, I would have a different type of etiquette on the phone. If I seen barbers cutting corners with how they serve clients, how they cut, I wouldn't cut corners. So every gap I seen in the industry, I filled the gap and I did a little bit extra. And it had a direct results with my clientele, with my business.
Yeah.
And older barbers, I was the youngest barber in the shop, and they seen that. And it just over time, I just had a natural thing to share information. So I'll just share different things I would do in the shop. Then when I got on social media, I started seeking out different educators and just started gaining more and more information. And my mindset was, if I encountered another barber that was soaking up information and really wanted to grow, I couldn't do nothing but share and exchange information.
Yeah.
So man, over time it just grew from me sharing information in the shop to me just being inspired by my father to educate, and it just kind of grew into barbering. You know, it grew in my barber career. So man, I take learning seriously and I take teaching, you know, seriously, man. So and that's what kind of led me into what I'm doing now.
Yeah. And that's actually the class that we took together was education on education or something like that.
Yeah, education on education. Pretty much, you know, teaching us how to formulate our class and, you know, do a proper campaign for it. It was good. good. It was good.
Yeah, it was all right, man. I was glad to meet you in that class too, man. That was a strong connection.
100%.
Yeah. Delmar,
So
what you think about, man?
I wish I had the teaching ability that you two have. Like, that's not really my thing, but it is something I'm looking I want to look more into teaching, because I feel like, you know, some of my experiences and some of the things that I know from either taking classes or just experience, I feel like I can offer that to new up and coming barbers or people who just want to elevate their game. So I definitely commend both of you for having that ability, that natural ability to teach. That's not something that everybody has. And also the passion to teach and help others. Like, I had a passion to help others, but being able to formulate it into teaching it, that's completely different. That's a gift. Bradford always told you he was gifted.
Yeah, he said I like to talk a lot, but I'm gifted at talking a lot. But D, that's like I was speaking of earlier, man. We all have them, man. We all have these insecurities, bro, that you'll look at it as a defense mechanism. Like, you like, oh, well, you know, I can't really do that or whatever. And it's limiting. It's a limit. Like, you have to realize that for you to be able to get over insecurity, one, you have to acknowledge it as that, because it makes you feel real vulnerable when you be like, man, I ain't no insecure dude. But at the end of the day, man, we human. And there are things that we are insecure about. And insecurity just means that you need external validation. That's all it is. Right. You're not secure within, and you need external validation for you to be okay. And so when you think about your ability to teach or your ability to communicate to others, you have a small insecurity there. And the way that you get over insecurities is you have to fortify your ability to go through where you feel insecure. So what I mean is, if you don't feel like you can teach, right? You don't feel like you can communicate, then you use moments like this as proof to yourself that you can communicate. And you say, okay, I want to be more prepared on a podcast. And so you're going to come with a thought process about something specific, and you practice yourself into feeling confident. And then once you do that, you can do that about more stuff. You can strengthen within by exercising without what you feel is something that is not safe for you on the inside. Does that make sense, D?
Mm-hmm.
I hope you see it, because I want you to release that limit of you feeling like what you can and cannot do, and some people are naturally gifted at certain things. That's not true. In my opinion of myself, I'm not a good teacher. I feel like I talk too much. Like, I feel like that's a weakness of mine. I feel that I over communicate and you get lost in my analogies. But at the same point in time, I also know that the information that I have and the things that I've gone through can help other people. So I resort back to what Lasana talks about, where he's saying how there's a care for others that supersedes my insecurity, and I'm able to press past what makes me feel uncomfortable, and I'm learning how to be more concise. How do I speak with more deliberation? How do I speak decisively so that someone doesn't get confused? How do I pull back the fluff? How do I get straight to the point, which is something you're very good at. You don't build the fluff in to try and make somebody understand. You just tell them how it is. That's a skill. And once you understand your own skills, and I'm not just speaking to Delmar, I'm speaking to everybody. Like, once you start to really understand your own skills, whatever insecurities you may have, you can start to build the security within by exercising without.
It's good.
Sorry.
Nah, one thing
I gotta stop saying sorry too, because that's me. That's my insecurity coming out. That's my insecurity coming out, where it's just like I don't want to act like, I don't want people to feel like I know everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the intent.
Yeah.
My heart is
like,
to
you just
help.
speak with confidence.
Yeah.
You just speak with confidence.
I'll be too caught up listening to what you're saying. And you think like that though. You know, like, I'll be really listening to what you got to say, because the things you say, I can tell you put a lot of thought in it, and it comes from experience. Mm-hmm. When you talk and when you feel like you're rambling, it's not coming from up top. It's coming from right here. Mm-hmm. And that's why I listen. That's why people listen, you know, because it flows. When it flows like water, it's different. You can tell when somebody just talking things off the head, because they're going to start repeating things over and over again. And it's going to be fluff with no substance. So, I mean, sure, you don't got to apologize for that, because you're definitely giving giving some good information, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's why I stick around.
For what you done experienced and what you done been through, so.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I definitely got to get over my own insecurities, but that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, so I can get confident in this space, so that I can really help a lot of barbers that want to get to another level of barbering for themselves. They're trying to take the ceiling off their income and remove the limits from their potential. If I don't do my part, then I can't help them do theirs. So I'm trying to do that. All right, man. Let's see. Next topic, Delmar, you take it, man. I feel like I've been talking too much.
You say you feel like you've been talking too much.
Yeah, crazy.
So, Lasana, so what are some things that you want to accomplish this year besides, I know you mentioned that you want to do more educational stuff, but what are some personal goals within your business that you want to accomplish this year, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah. Personal goals within my business. So that's good. Man, I've been coughing.
You all right, man? You got COVID?
You gotta get you some water, man.
Man, I got some. Y'all know, man, I came into the New Year's like with a crazy cold. My whole family was out of commission.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like the beginning of the year was tough already, huh?
Was it just a cold or was it like RSV or? Man,
so before my daughter got out of school, like she missed a couple of days of school because she had a cough and stuff like that. And into the break, man, my son was out of commission for like 2 weeks. Kind of find out he had RSV. My son had RSV. And while my son was sick, he was up under me like the whole time, sleep right on my chest, and he had a rough night. Couldn't really sleep throughout the night, man. It was tough, man. And we took him to his doctor, and we found out he had RSV. And within that time, I got sick. And like the weekend leading up to the week leading up to the New Year's, we're kind of busy cutting. I missed like 2.5 days of work. Within that week, I was out of commission, so I stayed home. Then within that, my wife, she's pregnant right now, and she started feeling under the weather. So my whole household, was out of commission. So I mean, it was the beginning going into 2024, and the beginning of 2024 was pretty tough.
Man, Happy New Year, huh? Golly.
Yeah, I'm just
we
shaking
all
back
on the
my
upside though, man. Shoot.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't do this interview last week, bro. I was out of there. I was out of there, Jimmy. Yeah. We can say that back in the day. Out of there, Jimmy. Yeah. Yeah, man. But
yeah, I was about to say,
I'm done coughing now. So
yeah, don't forget his question, man. We're trying to hear about some of these personal goals you got.
Man, that's good. So personal goals for the shop, because I got personal goals and personal goals for the shop, man.
I want to hear about your personal goals for the shop, because I mean it's no Lasana without the shop, right? So
no, it's no shop without Lasana.
Yeah.
Well, same things.
No. Lasana is the man, and then the shop is the business.
But I'm saying he has to have his personal stuff, his personal goals too, and it carries over into the shop. That's what I was trying to allude to. But go ahead. Your personal goals for you as well as for your shop.
Okay. Let me deal with the shop first. Then I'll go to my personal goals. So let me tell you a little bit about my shop. So my barber shop is mostly like a barber studio. It has 3 booths in, and towards the back we have 2 shampoo bowls, and it's a nice intimate setting. In the front we have a small little shop for products and everything. We have a television. We have like a small little self-care type of station in the front. Then we have the grooming stations. Then in the back we have the shampoo bowls in the restroom. So it's mostly like a barber studio, nice intimate setting. The thing about my barber studio is in the shopping center, way in the back. We're way in the back. So walk-in traffic, the traffic of the public, that's one of our main obstacles, right? Getting that foot traffic in. My first year and a half, I was there by myself. So, I mean, I already had a book of clientele. So I didn't really need walk-in traffic. So it was comfortable. It made sense for me. But now I have 2 barbers in now. And for the last...
Can't hear you, bro. Are you getting a phone call? Can you hear us?
We lost your audio, Lasana.
We can't.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
You got a phone call?
Yeah, I had a phone call, man. But yeah, so foot traffic is something that we really, really need. So right now we're focusing on our internet presence and we're focusing on our community presence. As far as the internet, yeah, I'm on Instagram, but I'm realizing now Facebook is a heavy hitter when it comes to just direct traffic and getting clientele. There's on Instagram, there's a lot of entrepreneurs on Instagram. I'm friends with a lot of barbers. So it's really good to learn and to network. But we're really tackling Facebook right now because Facebook, you have everyday people on Facebook. Yeah. You have uncles, aunties, you got mamas, you got cousins, brothers and sisters, everybody on Facebook. And you got regular people that work 9 to 5 jobs on Facebook. So we're really just tuning in with Facebook on our Facebook page. We're running Facebook ads, learning the whole ad situation and how that works.
Yeah.
So we're going through a lot of learning. So I would say my number one thing for the shop right now is just getting that public traffic coming through the shop.
Yeah.
And also just training my barbers as far as shop atmosphere, SOPs, knowing truly how to receive a client, how to host a client, how to make sure the clientele experience is consistent.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have skills. It's one thing to have product knowledge, haircut knowledge, but we have to have people knowledge too at the same time.
Yeah.
Because people, they come in looking for an experience, and we have to separate ourselves from the common barbershop up the street.
Yeah.
On the street where my shop is located, it's multiple barbershops. Like the city that I'm in, barbershops are open and left and right. So, I mean, we have to be that exception.
Yeah.
So that just don't start with giving a fly haircut. Everybody can do that.
Yeah.
People have to, as soon as they walk in, even when they book, when they go on your website, when they go on your booking app, they have to see a direct difference from all the other shops. Yeah. Our systems have to be different. Our design has to be different. Our booking process has to be different. I'm in a process of changing some things up with our booking process and of just making things more seamless. All that stuff counts. When that stuff is different, you're going to get less people trying to haggle you on your prices. When your shop atmosphere is different, less people ask questions about pricing and your procedures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So right now, man, my task is to really learn first, apply it, and pour it into my colleagues. Beautiful. I don't even like to say barbers. I like to say colleagues because that's what they are. They don't work for me. They work with me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, it's just a lot of growth and development going on.
It's about that.
I like how you said that colleagues, man. That's the same approach that me and my brother had when we had our shop together. Is even when I would do the interviewing process, you not come and work for me. You come in our establishment, but we're working together. It's not me over you. You had to respect the authority that's there too, because it's not your shop. But I never made my barbers feel like, or my colleagues feel like, I'm over you or
100%.
You working under me. Like we a team. It's all about team building. And I learned that from my time interning with Bradford in the establishment that he was at. It was all team. You would walk in and you wouldn't know who was the owner. And that's 100%. How we had it at my shop, my old shop.
100%, as it should. It should. And I want to tap on this team thing real quick because I feel like, that's a thing that, barbers seem to kind of get twisted. Because at the first shop I worked in, had certain barbers come in and, they throw the quote out, oh, we're a team, we're a team, we're a team. But a lot of people don't really understand what team is. A lot of people use the word team to either, shortstop on other barbers' clients or customers, cut other people's customers when the barber might have stepped out and saying we're a team. That's not teamwork. Teamwork is making sure that things work efficiently at the barbershop and things work seamlessly at the barbershop. One thing me and my colleagues do at the shop, me and LaShonda, is that if I don't find myself busy or doing anything and she's with her client and she's doing the service, I make sure that she has hot towels in the warmer. I make sure that the steam machine is on for her. I ask her if she needs anything for her client, and she does the same thing for me and vice versa. Number one, it helps to maintain that client experience. And number two, the client gets to hear us working together for their greater good, putting them first. That's something that customers or clients don't hear or don't experience in other shops. LaShonda, she makes sure she greets my clients when they walk in, and I do the same thing for her. Like she knows the names of a lot of my clients, and I know the names of a lot of her clients also.
Yeah.
You know, so when it comes to teamwork, that's what teamwork is.
Yeah.
Working as
100%.
a team for the greater good.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, man.
And putting the clients first, you can do that in so many different ways, but so many people don't realize like what you're talking about is putting the client first just as much as trying to make sure you can get them in your schedule. It's like if you can't make people feel comfortable, feel welcome, feel entreated, then that's exactly how they treat their pocket. You don't realize it, but it's exactly how they treat their pocket. They don't feel comfortable to go in. They don't feel entreated to go in their pocket. They don't feel at ease to go in their pocket for whatever price point that you're trying to demand, especially if you're in a space where you're trying to increase your prices and stuff. You want people to feel very, very comfortable, and the environment that you provide them will relax them. And if you relax them properly for the space that you're in, then they'll be a lot more comfortable to spend more money with you.
It's like LaShonda said, man. It's about the customer experience, because Joe Smith can go anywhere and get a decent to nice haircut. You know, there's a lot of people doing those, but not everybody is giving out that good customer quality experience.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't want to be just in another shop that they stop by and they got a decent cut. Like, you want them to talk about you in a good manner. Yeah. And I went there and I had a great experience. Like, I've never experienced this type of atmosphere at a shop before. Like, that's the type of, you know, talk that bring you in new high paying clientele, you know. It ain't just about the cut. It's a lot of people who can cut.
And you know, it's crazy because there's like, you can have a theme to your environment, right? And it attracts a certain type of person, and the certain type of person that your theme or your environment attracts will dictate what you can charge and how much you can charge, honestly. But you can charge a good amount of money in almost any environment because people appreciate the theme. You know, I think about certain restaurants. Like, certain restaurants cost more based on the theme that they have. It could be rainforest, right? Like, this is a rainforest themed restaurant, or what's that one? There's this now you naming all this southern stuff. I don't know. What was that one? What'd you call it?
Huh?
Which one did you say?
I say Razoo's.
Yeah, I never heard that in my life.
Yeah, I never heard that one either. That's a Texas thing.
The first one
could have said Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah,
you know, that's something we all know.
Yeah, we all know that, but we all know the price point.
I thought it was everywhere.
You got to get out of it. You got to get out of that town. Nah, but you got other stuff that's like sports related, right? Like, you get like Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that. Like, there's themes around the experience that you want to provide, but so many people are just posting their haircuts, posting that. It's like they don't think about the theme that they're providing. And when you don't think about the theme, then you're limiting the best people that may want your services, because at the highest price point, right? If you target baseball players, then you create the environment. Like, what's his name that you did draft day cuts? No, TJ Malvo.
TJ
draft picks, right? Like, he's built a whole theme around the environment that you get when you come into his shop. Is sports related. It's about feeling like you are a draft day. You know what I mean? And so his theme puts you in a certain mindset. Like, you're not gonna look like basic average Joe that goes goes to any barbershop, you're going to have draft ready pictures when you get out of my chair, when you get out of this experience. And that's his realm. So he can charge higher prices and get celebrity clientele because he's marketing to that type of person. But if you don't understand the theme that you got and you just a shop, then you just going to get random people, coming in and not cater towards the strength that you feel like you can provide because you're not showing your strength.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good, man.
Well, yeah. So I feel like that's a cutter concept. What do you think?
It is a cutter concept.
Nice play on words.
Cutter concept.
Yeah, man. That's true what you say, Brad. Because if you walk in a barbershop and they're playing urban hip hop music, then you got a nice blue collar. Is it blue collar or
blue
white
collar? White collar. Either
blue collar. Working
a business person
collar.
Working a business person come in with a suit.
That's white collar. That's white collar.
Okay, yeah, white. I always got them confused, but yeah. Anyway,
I was about to say so.
but you get a person like that who is business savvy and they want to control y'all because they saw a nice cut online. So they see the cut, they know that you can cut, but now they're coming in and they're experiencing the environment. Well, based on the music that you playing, they might get that haircut, but you might not ever see them again just because of they don't feel comfortable. Yeah. But Brad, I'm not sure what kind of music you play, Lasana, but I kind of play soft, easy listening, jazzy type of feel. Yeah, stuff that nobody could argue with. Everybody appreciate a good, nice, clean beat. It's just, you're not gonna argue with that. Like, oh man, I don't like that beat. Yeah, but
it's too calming.
It's oh my god, that saxophone.
Too relaxed.
But you try to create an environment where everybody is welcome, but you also know in your mind what you're trying to attract to.
Yeah.
So certain things that you play attract certain people. Certain things that you don't play, you get the type of ideal people that you're looking for.
Yeah. Certain
and how you come to work and how you present yourself too.
Yep. Your professional image is something that's going to attract a certain type of people. Another thing that this is good what you're talking about, D, and Lasana, you should jump in because I know that you care about your environment as well. So you do specific things. But there are so many different things that clients pay attention to that you don't realize they pay attention to. You feel like it's no big deal because you can cut, but people pay attention to how clean your establishment is
and how it smell.
Yes, how it smell and all of this stuff.
You smell like old chicken bones.
Yeah, man. I be hating. So I don't know if I should say it or not because they could be listening. But no, one of the things that really, really bothers me is when clients bring food into the spot, and then even sometimes you may have your colleagues that you work with that may have had bring their lunch in, and it just like the aroma is it's not a good vibe as a whole. Now you get some hungry
no matter
people.
How good it stink.
Yeah. No matter how good it stink.
We got some fish and sticks.
Yeah, man. You got people coming in here and all they thinking about is food now because they smell your lunch, whatever it is. It could be good, but it's like it don't create the environment for relaxation and it depends on the vibe that you want. I mean, you can have cuts and grease if you want to, like it could be, you can have, what I mean? Like if that's what you want to do, but that could be your theme. But I don't know, man. You gonna get a certain demographic, I'll tell you that.
Oh yes, you is.
They be looking for the fried chicken.
Yeah, they be like, oh man, I'm trying to get. Can I get 2 weeks with my cut? They looking for French fries.
Yeah, that's real though, man. Shit, atmosphere is everything.
Yeah,
and one thing I try to be careful with is if I offend a client because we never want to offend anybody at the shop, man. And like people come to your shop for a certain reason, and the dynamic can change when the dynamic can change when you don't hire correctly, and when you don't have a set demographic that you're targeting. Because if you don't, you're going to be bringing people, a whole lot of different people in your shop with different mindsets, different language, different preferences.
Yeah.
And you have people that they're offended with swearing.
Mm-hmm.
They can be sitting in your chair and some people can be waiting and they're having foul language.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned to kind of read and assess my clients while they're in my chair. So usually I can tell if I have a lady client or another client, I can tell they're uncomfortable because they kind of refrain from speaking.
Mm-hmm.
They get quiet. They're not as open,
relaxed.
like how they usually are.
Yeah.
So I know they're in some way offended now. And offense, it can come from foul language. It can come from the music that's being played in the shop. It can come from the television programming.
Yeah.
So I make sure I have all those things in check, in my barbershop. Because, like y'all said, atmosphere is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I pay attention to how clients leave after a shop. Most clients, they have like a set of patterns. After the shop, it's after the cut or after the service, it's small talk, it's fraternizing a little bit. Even after I do the transaction, it's a little bit more talking, then I send them on their way.
Yeah.
But if the pattern changes to where they're quiet, they leave, they swipe their card and they leave, I'm like, okay, something's different.
Yeah.
So I got to go back and assess myself, see what I possibly did wrong, or assess the conversations that's in the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all that stuff, it comes with policies. Like I'm writing my policy now and doing some adjustments to it, because if it's not on paper, it's not real.
Yeah.
If clients can't see it, if you can't see it, if your colleagues can't see it, and if it's in your mind, it's not real. You can't really enforce it. So, but man, like atmosphere has to do with everything. Like there's certain things that people like will get offended by, from cleanliness, from the restroom. People get offended by the restroom.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
I posted this. It didn't get a lot of attention, man. But I said one of the secrets to a great experience is your bathroom.
Man, facts.
Yeah, bro. Clients pay attention to that.
You can't go in the bathroom and think the candy man about to come out.
For real. That'd be a
Clean,
quick section.
man.
We just had to redo our back because our restroom and our back was lacking. It looked like a storage closet.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to kind of revamp everything, because I noticed certain clients, they stopped using the restroom at the shop. They stopped. And I learned that later on, third person conversation. I learned that. So, we revamped the whole back.
Yeah.
And
I laughed because I was in a shop like that where people didn't want to use the restroom.
Man,
we didn't want to use the restroom
shop like that.
I think we all been in a shop like that.
Man, ooh, Lord.
You feel concerned. You go in and
concerned.
Yeah, man. You will go in there and the light don't work well, or
it's blinking.
Yeah, it's blinking. It just feels colder. It's like, why is it so cold in here?
Bro,
man. Your bladder, you holding your bladder for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna just use it when I get home.
Yeah. Yeah, the barber's sitting there trying to tell the person to sit still. Like, man, will you sit still? Be like, I'm sorry. They trying to sit still, but they trying to hold it. Like,
The barber probably ain't even sitting still. He probably doing I got a pee dance with the clippers in his hand.
Yeah. Man, no, he gotta go.
Man, be like, yeah, you got Tourette's, man. What's wrong with you? Stabilize before you try and touch my lineup, man. You keep jerking.
That's for real.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you one last question before we head out, man. You mentioned this earlier, and I want to just get your perspective. You don't have to share any secrets, but just the importance of booking. You mentioned it earlier, just about how this process is something that every client is going to have to go through, right? Mm-hmm. And because every client has to go through it, what are some of the pros to online booking, and what are some of the cons that you found with, not with just the process, but maybe some of the platforms? You don't have to name any platforms, but just what are some pros and some cons with online booking that you've experienced?
Okay, well, one of the first things you said was, it's the process that everybody has to go through. And that's a true thing. I feel like it's so important for prospects, customers, clients to go through this booking process so they can see, first of all, so they can see your process, so they can see your policies, so they can see the duration of the services, just so they can be aware of all these things before they enter your shop. I think about a booking process also as a clientele filter.
Yeah.
Because it can filter out and weave out people that's not necessarily in your target market or your demographic or your target demographic. Once they see certain things, they can either opt in or not opt in. So yeah, it's important for people to go through the booking process. One thing I believe that's important about a booking process is that it has to be seamless as possible. And that's one thing I learned just throughout the years. It has to be seamless as possible, and it has to be a smooth process to where they can easily make a decision.
Yeah.
At one point in time, like right now, I'm working on simplifying my service menu and simplifying my booking process. Because at one point in time, I had everything on there. I thought more was better.
Mm-hmm.
I had edge ups, taper, haircuts, facials. I had a long list. And I thought if I had a long list, I'll look more professional. I'll look like I know how to do more.
Yeah, no.
So right now, I have to collapse.
Yeah. I say you look like a restaurant.
You look like a restaurant.
Yeah, bro, look like a restaurant, man. Look like the dollar menu. You know what I'm saying? So I had to collapse all that stuff because it just looks confusing when you go to my website, to my booking platform. So I had to collapse that stuff. Then I had to simplify it to make just the booking process easier and make it easier for clients to make a decision. So I feel like simple is more.
Yeah.
But some of the problems I do see or that I have encountered with, just the booking process, I would say so if you have now my booking platform, they just kind of tweaked it and fixed it. But for a long time, if you had other services that you offered, they couldn't really bundle them or combine them together. It wasn't no option for an add-on or anything like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I had to pretty much add a whole nother service with that on my list. And it had me, it caused me to have a whole lot of different services on there. And that was the one thing I couldn't really bundle. One thing I wish that my booking platform had now was my policy would pop up. I wish my policy would pop up before they book.
Policy?
Well, cancellation policy, but also just different policies within the shop, for etiquette and stuff like that. And, no swearing or just pulling your pants up, stuff like that, I wish that would kind of populate. Huh?
No sagging in my shop.
Man, look here. You can't be doing that. Don't be sagging hard. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be sagging hard. Well, this,
soft sag.
Yeah, when you're trying to see your undergarments, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But stuff like that, man. So, there's always, little kinks and everything, in the booking
nothing is
process,
going to be perfect.
Say it again?
I said nothing is going to be perfect. Nothing's going to check all the boxes 100%. And so many different people are have different desires, and so many different people are in different spaces in their profession and in their business that their values are different, So there's so many barbers that could care less about a policy, right? But here it is, people that have policies and have an environment that they want to keep up. They hey man, you need to know this before you even show up.
Before you even show up.
Yeah. For sure. So it's just it's interesting how different platforms are trying to meet the needs, but they have to be so cookie cutter because there's too many people to try and, be valuable to they going after the big money, whatever they can get the most people in.
Yeah,
that's
for
what
sure.
they're trying to do. They're not specializing in professionals within this industry. They're just saying, hey, anybody that does this, there's no separation between the garage barber that's cutting illegally, the person that's just doing whatever they want to do versus the person that cares a lot about their business. There's no way for the platforms to separate that for the client's sake. And then on top of that, they be shopping barbers to your clients anyway. I don't like, that's the biggest thing I hate. It's
Yeah.
There's only a few that don't do it. And the ones that don't do it don't help you get no new clients in any way, shape, or form. They just be like, it's a booking platform. Then like book. But then the ones that quote unquote are trying to help you get new customers or clients or whatever, they also selling your own clients to other people. So it's like, come on, man. Like, that's not what I signed up for. So anyways, there's pros and cons, but good feedback, man. And I think this has been an outstanding episode, Delmar. I mean, what do you think?
Great. I'm glad we was able to do a part 2 in such a short notice. You the first client. I mean, I said client. You the first guest to come on our show and do a second episode.
And this was a full second episode too. It wasn't even like an abbreviated version.
That was my fault. I had some things come up the first time, so it was only right that we had you back on the show again. So definitely appreciate your words of wisdom.
Absolutely.
And just a great, genuine person that you are too, man. From day one when I met you in Brad class, yet another person who I met in one of Brad's classes, he's been genuine since day one. So appreciate you.
100%, man. I appreciate y'all, man. It was a pleasure, man. I had a whole lot of fun, and I still got my notes right here too, man. So always a wealth of information, and I feel brotherhood when I come here. So that's another big part aside from barbering. I
said that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, man. 100%, man. 100%.
And Lil Man didn't bust through the door this time.
Right. He let you have your he let you have your time, man.
Yeah, he said, I'm gonna let Daddy have it today. I'm gonna let Senior have it today, man.
Well, man,
we appreciate you, man.
Yeah, this has been an outstanding episode. Lasana, we can't thank you enough for blessing us with your presence and with your, as Delmar said, your words of wisdom. All the gems that you dropped has been nothing but invaluable, man. And so we definitely have to get you back here again. We're gonna give us some time, though. We got to give us some time because you can't bless the people too much. You can't bless them too much. Yeah. But we'll definitely stay connected, and we'll definitely lift up what you are doing with your education as well. We'll make sure that we support in any way that we can, because we are here trying to elevate barbers as they're elevating the industry, and we want to just be a platform for growth, a platform for reaching new heights, a platform for anybody that's trying to focus on getting to another level of barbering for themselves. They're trying to break any ceilings, any limits. Then this is the platform that you want to at least pay attention to, because we may give you some jewels that can unlock your future that you never thought was possible. So until next time, we appreciate you. We are out.
Peace.
He did the Wakanda sign.
1, 2.